I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test, part 219, horse racing while doing wrist training. And if you participate in the wrist training, that's at your own risk. There is a very long history of horse racing in Britain, with evidence of events taking place as far back as Roman times. So we're not going to explain what a horse is. Most people who know the vocabulary horse do know what a horse is, and most people do know what a horse is. But I'm pretty sure that there are animals in some countries which are totally known in these countries or these regions and over thousands of kilometers. But on other ends of the world, people never heard of these animals. So a horse is an animal, and we have different colors. So because we want to say brown, we have different colors. We have some which are white, we have some which are black or brown. Some have different colors, and some are even white with black points. So let's say we are brown, and most of the time it's brown, and we are pretty big, but they are round with a head of the size of humans. So these are big animals, not like a dog. The dog is also quite big. We have bigger dogs. A horse is quite big. There are different types of dogs. There are hundreds of different types of horses. But normally, the most horses used here in this case have a head around at human head height, and they are running on 4 legs, and they have 2 in front, 2 back, similar to a dog, and we have a long and strong back. It's 1.5 meter long or something like that with the back, and it's a very strong back. So as far as I heard from many people, and if you look horses in the eye, they seem to have no problem if a human person sits on top of a back. And that is when called riding, if a human person sits on the back of a horse, and it seems that horses have to be no problem with it. And they have been steered to the sides, and now people can ride on them. Horses are pretty fast. They can run up to 80 kilometers, so they can be twice as fast as humans. And I wanted to explain the animal, but it's also horse racing. And they can be trained. They are very elegant animals. They can be dangerous. Of course, they are big and they are very powerful. They can run 80 kilometers fast, and they are as big as a human with a head, and they have a 1.5 meter long back, so they have that size and that. And they can run 80 kilometers. They weigh 0.5 ton or something. They are very powerful. They have a lot of muscles, and they can be dangerous. But normally horses are flight animals, so they don't hunt. They flee away if danger comes, if an animal wants to hunt them in the nature. And that is basically the thing where humans have to be careful that not the horse thinks that they are hunted or something, that they starting to run away because they're getting afraid suddenly, because that is in their nature to run away if there's a danger. And they shouldn't confuse the human for danger. That's a bit dangerous if they confuse the human for danger. And they can also fight. Horse can fight if they're having rivalry in nature or something like that. So they can also get therefore dangerous. So horses are a bit dangerous. It's a 2 meter long animal which weighs 0.5 ton. Of course, it's dangerous. They are very muscular. They can run very fast, and on top of them, someone can sit, and that's called riding. And they have a big head. We can describe as what is useful. It's a very noble animal. So horse racing is done in Britain. So people are sitting on the back of these horses, and these horses are very fast. And when they're riding, and another person sits on the back of a horse, they are both riding, and we look who's the fastest. It's not just about a horse. Of course, the horse is very important. But it's also how they handle these horses. As I said, horses can get scared, and they have to be treated good and so on. And also the rider has to know how to treat the horse, that the horse trusts the rider, and the opposite way, the best way also. So it's also a teamwork. It's not just the fastest horse, it's also the good rider involved. So there's a very long history of horse racing in Britain, so since the Roman times, since 2000 years. Julius Caesar tried it in 55 before Christ, and in 43 after Christ, Emperor Claudius was successful, and they stayed until 467. They didn't get Scotland, but England, and they established their roads and public buildings, and also I think it was in the beginning of some structural laws. I think it was also in there. The sport has a long association with royalty. Horses are big animals. They are expensive. They have to be treated very well. They need a lot of food. So they are associated with royalty. They are very noble animals. They are big animals, elegant animals, strong animals, and so they are associated with royalty. There are race courses all over the UK. It's very funny. Aber the thing. I can't see it over there. Under my finger. Race courses. There are race courses. In English, almost never words are put together. There are race courses all over the UK. Now, what are race courses? These must be the course. So it's a path or a street specifically made for horses. Horses can run on concrete, but it's better to run on more easier ground, like soil or something like that. So forest ground is better, or sand. All over the UK, famous horse racing events include Royal Ascot, a 5-day race meeting in Berkshire. A 5-day race meeting in Berkshire, attended by members of the royal family, the Grand National at Aintree near Liverpool, and the Scottish Grand National at Ayr. There's the National Horse Racing Museum in Newmarket, Suffolk. I wanted to look shortly. It's called Ashes, the series of test games in cricket between England and Australia. I didn't manage to look up idiosyncratic, whatever it means. So, I'm going to do it later. Famous horse racing events include the Royal Ascot, which is a 5-day race meeting in Berkshire. No. The Royal Ascot. Yes, the Royal Ascot. The Royal Ascot is a 5-day race meeting in Berkshire, attended by members of the family. So, in Berkshire, maybe you're going to look it up now. In Berkshire, in the United Kingdom, there's a 5-day long event. So it's on one day, second, third, and also cricket games can last 5 days. So over 5 days, there are people coming together and doing horse races, and it's also attended by the royal family. We'll probably come to it later. The Grand National at Aintree near Liverpool. So near Liverpool, that is at the west, near the coast. At Liverpool, there is at Aintree a Grand National horse racing, and the Scottish Grand National at Ayr. We are all called Grand National. So somewhere in Scotland there's Ayr, I think it's a Y, A-Y-R, Ayr. There's a big horse racing, and there's a National Horse Racing Museum in Newmarket in Suffolk. We know where Suffolk is. It is directly below North Suffolk, or North Suffolk. It's in the east of the United Kingdom, southeast. There's a National Horse Racing Museum. So if someone wants to go to a National Horse Racing Museum, they're the closest to the in Suffolk. That was horse racing. The next thing will be golf. So anybody who's here for golfing or golf, and you can just skip the wrist training which you're doing now. If you participate in wrist training, that's at your own risk, and the golf in the next video will be just theoretical. Now we're doing wrist training. We're having hands formed to fists next to us, and we're doing the spotlight, and we're going slowly down and slowly up, and we're going down and slowly up. And we're having 3 rules. The first rule is that we're stopping immediately as soon as we feel pain. The second rule is that we're going only as fast as we can go with a little bit of effort. And the third rule comes now into effect, and we're going over to the next exercise. The flashlight, we're going to be inside, to be outside. And the third rule, which just had come into effect, was and is that we're stopping before we're reaching our potential. So this is not to exhaust the muscles or to do a great training, just doing a bit of movement, just strengthening all the muscles, tendons and joints. So just a few movements, last time to the outside and to the inside. And next exercise, it is the magician, flat hands next to us, and we're going to be inside. It's a little bit different to the flashlight for the muscles. And now for one last time. And now we're doing the pancake flip. Again, flat hands next to us, and we're turning them up. And again down. And still the 3 rules. First rule, if there's pain, we stop immediately. Second rule, we count only as fast as we can go with a little bit of this, so to there, and now in the other direction, and we're turning around. And the third rule is that we're not overdoing it. So that's already the last step. Now to the quadrangular castle architect, having our hands and fists out, and we bring these fists towards each other. And now up. And to the outside. And now down. And to the inside. And now we are around, down. And to the outside. And up. And to the inside. And the last exercise, it is the crab anxious to a fever. So having one arm next to us, hand front to fist, and we're bringing the fist down, and we're pressing with moderate force against it. Now we're pulling a bit carefully from the outside. And up from the top. And pressing a bit from the bottom. And with the other hand front to a fist, and bringing the fist down, and pressing carefully against it. And now from the outside. And from the top. A bit pressing from the downside. And we've done the first string. Just with relaxation. We're having a long arm, a little bend in the elbow, and we're going with moderate pressure of the part of the lower arm. And last time, now on the other side, little bend in the elbow, and go with moderate pressure over the middle part of the lower arm. And now we're having 2.5 minutes. So David Wire was it, who in a wheelchair won 6 gold medals and won 6 times the London Marathon. 6 gold. And it was, who made the 7th one? Here, Chris Hoy, 6 gold, 1 silver. 11 virgin. 6 and 1, so 1 times 6 and 1 times 1, so he has made 11 virgin. Dame Ellen MacArthur, that was sailing around the sea, whatever, sailing around the world, so she probably circumnavigated the world like Sir Francis Drake with a golden hind. And she, yes, that's it. Fastest person to sail around the world. And Dame Kelly Holmes, she has forgot the keys, so she runs back to her home to get the 2 keys for 4 golden cards. It must be the 2 gold medals, Olympic Games 2004. For 2 golden cards. Baroness Tannigal Thompson. And not because I know where it's standing on the page. She has 40 records, she broke 40 records. She won a number of times with the London Marathon, it was 6 times. She had 11 gold medals, took part in 5 Paralympic Games, and won 60 medals there. And we're having Sir Steve Redgrave, rowing, he won 5 times consecutive gold medal, Paralympic Games. And we're having Jane Torrance and Christopher Dean. We won in 1984. It was 1984. Who was as 1984? Okay. 1984. And we've won in 4 consecutive gold medals. Maybe this was just before. 1984, they won the gold medal, and they won 4 times consecutive World Championships. Then we're having Baron Ian Botham. He played cricket. He captained the English team, and he made several records. Then we're having Bobby Moore. He captained the British team in the at-home hosted World Cup in football, 66. And we're having Sir Jackie Stewart. He won 3 times. I think very much entertaining stuff.